Hey everyone, this is Motorized Pariah coming at you. Welcome to the next video in the series, How Can I Play That? A series devoted towards helping people with disabilities play video games on PC. We'll look at some tips and tricks and some things that I do with certain software to help make gameplay a little easier. This week we're taking a look at a new game called Lies of P. Lies of P is a Souls type game, and if you recall from my series on Elden Ring, those sort of Souls games are not too bad to control with limited mobility. So today, we're going to take a look at some of the in-game features in the menu to see how we can increase some of the accessibility. We're also going to look at some macros that I've written with voice attack software to help make gameplay possible. So sit back and enjoy. Let's take a look. So this is Lies of P, which is a new game that just came out a couple of weeks ago, and it's basically a Souls-style game. If you recall from my series about Elden Ring, this type of game is actually pretty good to control when it comes to limited mobility, especially that I can use the joystick for movement, and then my primary mouse button, which is the only one I have access to, is on dodge, and then of course a series of voice attack commands. Voice attack being the software that I use to make voice commands and macros. So like I said, I'm here at the boss gate, but we're not going to do that just yet. You can see basic Souls type styles. Here's a target dummy. I'll just show you some of the stuff early on. Target. Alright, pretty standard. Strike. Alright, so that's just a sneak peek. Doo-doo. For those who remember Elden Ring, doo-doo is my execute command if I want to grab something or do something. Alright, so let's take a look at the menu first. Exit. Alright, so there's some pretty basic features in here that we see in a lot of games, obviously. Some of them are going to just be player preference. Auto lock on, which means if you kill somebody, that the next target in the room becomes locked. I like that as well. Again, personal preference, it helps me, but subtitles, I always have subtitles on just because, I don't know, I like reading it. Audio, again, depending on your preference. I left everything at 7. That was the default. Graphics, so for me, when I play a game, I always use windowed mode. And the reason I use windowed mode is because I want to be able to access some of my other software easily. And when I have full screen, so a controller, that just maps out what it is. Now, I only use the left stick on the controller, so that's all I need. You can see here I've turned off controller vibration. As I've said before, having a controller vibrate in my mouth is not the most pleasant thing. Mouse sensitivity up to 10. That way as I'm turning the camera, it's a little quicker. And then keybinds, we'll just go over quickly. I mean, I didn't change a whole lot, but of course, just like Elden Ring, and other Souls games, dodging is so important, and you really need to do that quickly. And while you can map a voice command to dodge, there is a delay, right? So whenever you have a voice attack command, there is a slight delay. And something like dodge, where you need to be immediate, right? You need to react right away if somebody's attacking you. You need it to be fast, so that's why I always map dodge to my left mouse button, which is again the only one that I have access to. Go back. So you'll see right there, my first macro I wanted to tell you about is go back. And go back is just a standard exit menu. I use it in all my games. Whatever it's keybound to is irrelevant. In this game, the default target was a middle mouse click, which I don't have access to physically, but I do have access to it through voice attack. So let's take a look at that one first. So the one thing about this game is it does lock your mouse, it does lock your cursor into the game window. So I can't just move my mouse off screen and go use voice attack. I actually have to leave by pressing Alt Tab, which for our intents and purposes, I wrote a macro to do, so I'm going to say leave window. Alright, so I'm going to switch over so you can see what's going on with voice attack. So if I go down here, scroll down, find target, open that up, right click middle mouse button. If I open that up, I know it's tough to see, but you can see there's a lot of different options for mouse click within voice attack. So obviously left, middle, right, you can drag, you can hold, you can toggle, you can use the scroll wheel up and down, you can have the click down for a certain duration, like if you want to hold the mouse button down for a little while. So I've played with all these features, but for today it's just simply click middle button. So let's take a look at some basic attack commands. Again, if you watch my series on Elden Ring, a lot of them are pretty similar at this early point in the game especially. Basically a sword for our main right attack, and a metal arm for our left hand attack, and then we can block or guard, and then we also have something called Fable, which is a weapon skill. So let's just use our practice dummy. Target. Right? Strike. Target. So again, I call it strike. You can call it whatever you want. Another one I wrote, I found that in the field, especially these early levels, that usually 3 strikes was sort of the right amount to kill anything. So basically I made a macro that triple strikes. Again, you can call it what you want, but I call it attack. Alright, 3 strikes. The other thing we have is our left arm, which in this game is called Legion. We don't have a lot of spells or anything attached to it right now. Obviously, as the game progresses, we'll have that. Right now, it's a simple big punch, but I'll just show it to you anyway. Legion. Okay. So another thing I just want to show you quickly is guarding or blocking. Look at our key settings. So we see here, guard is holding down left shift. So I didn't call it guard because guard is a bit weird to say when you're in the thrill of battle. If you recall before, I've always given the words of advice of use words that are clear and distinct, and also use things that you can say, you know, when your adrenaline's pumping, right? When you're in the middle of battle, you need to be able to say something that is sharp and stands out. Otherwise, all sorts of troubles ensue. So I took it away from guard, and I called it block. Block being a little easier to say. And you'll see that I have it set to toggle the left shift key. You could put it on a timer, you know, a couple seconds, but what if it's not ready? So this is where we're going to play around as we move forward, and probably more in episode 2 of this video. We're going to try and develop this technique a bit better. But for now, just know that that's what that does. It holds up your guard. So let's take a look at what blocking does. Just for the visual. Target. Block. See, now I'm blocking, but see how the timing is really hard to do. Block. Block. Hey, it worked. So there you have it. That is sort of the beginner macros. So let's go do a little bit of action just to tie the video up. And then target. Attack. try and block this guy. Doo-doo. Block. Attack. Stop. So as we sign off, I'll show you the final one. Again, if you watch my series from Elden Ring, you will have seen it, and that is I just want to run forward without pushing up on the joystick. So I simply say auto run, and then I can just go side to side as I need to. Or if I want to dash, I can just hold the button. Stop. And there we go. So there you have it. I'll look at some of the early macros, some early gameplay. Should be a fun game. We'll see how it goes. Make sure you follow me on Twitch at Motorized Pariah, and we'll do some gameplay throughout the week. And look forward to episode 2, where we'll take a deeper look at some of the combo macros, as well as some of the parrying macros, which this game, of course, like all Souls types game, rely a lot on parrying. So we'll see if we can get it to work finally. All right, until then, take care.